Welcome back everybody to another episode of Cigarillos Talk. Genetic inferiority. Genetic determinism. I tried so hard myself to not view life at this perspective. I tried so hard to break out of this vision, outside of this perspective, outside of this lens, of not seeing and determining other people's worth by their genetics. And of course, we can talk about the moral standpoint of judging people by their looks. And of course, I do not want to be that guy. I'm not that guy who is gonna automatically judge someone by their looks. But I understand my biology. I understand my psychology. I understand the psychology of people. And people in a split second already determine your birth in their head. Of course, you're not gonna make fun out of someone who is way taller than you, who is way more muscular than you, who is way more attractive than you, because you have that fear of them abusing their power, abusing their genetic superiority to push you, to pull you more down. I understand how the human eye works. There's a reason why this term, pretty privilege, exists. And because of that, I feel so sad for the people who are genetically way more inferior than I am. I'm not that well off. I'm 5'8". I'm not that attractive. I have a very narrow frame. I understand my own genetic position in the hierarchy, in the human race. But I'm kind of well off because I'm white and I have a certain amount of looks that does really put me below, I don't know, sub 3. I already had a head start in certain areas. I was financially good during my growing up phase. What I want to say is that some people start at life in a way harder position, to the point that some people have a start and some people don't have a start whatsoever. That's the reason why this term "it never began" even exists. There are many people who have such a sad life in their own existence, and they say like, "Oh, it's over." For some people, it never even began. And I feel so much sadness, so much guilt for these people, because I made it and these people did not make it. And how do you help these people who are genetically inferior? That's the reason why self-improvement started to exist. There are many individuals who want to buy this hope. I already recorded a video about hope, and I'm gonna upload that video first, and then I'm gonna upload this video. There's so many people who are not well off in life, who seek onto and want to latch onto hope. And these people are genetically inferior. Of course, saying this, genetic inferiority, that's a very disgusting thing to say. That's a very derogatory sense. You're literally just insulting someone for their genetics. Oh, you are short. Oh, you're ugly. You're this, you're that. But that is how the entire world judges other people. That's how society judges other people. That's the reason why pretty privilege exists. Some people will just pass on their life, experiencing zero to minimal suffering, just because they're genetically good. I have some friends who are dumb, and they never really experienced bullying because they were born prettier, because they were born taller. And I know many people who experienced so much bullying to the point where they don't know how to act anymore. They could not grow up. They're not adults anymore. They're not proper adults. Just because their start at life, because of genetics, their start at life wasn't good. Social exclusion. Kids are bullying you for the things that you could not control. There's this term called mog guilt. It basically means that you feel sad, that you want to, let's say, lower yourself to the point to these people so that they do not fear you. And I started experiencing this feeling a lot. For example, you can visualize this. For example, I'm a kickboxer. I train kickboxing. I have been training for quite a while now. And sometimes there are new individuals who come to the boxing class, who come to the kickboxing class, and you can see that they don't know anything. They don't know how to throw a punch. They do not know how to hold guard. They do not know how to move. Of course, you're not gonna just punch the kid out. Of course, you're not gonna destroy the kid in sparring. You're gonna let him do some combinations on you. You're just gonna give him a little break. You're gonna ease your level. You're gonna lower your level to his level so that he can catch up. I have started to feel this feeling of mog guilt a lot in my life lately. Recently, when I was in a different city, when I was in a different military base, because I work in the military, sometimes you see recruits. First, you need to go through recruit training, basic military training, so that you can later work as a military personnel. And when you see these recruits, you're just feeling so sad because, god dang, you're literally just a kid. Like, all these drill sergeants are bullying you, they're telling you, pick up your rifle, put your helmet, how are you standing like that? You cannot greet me like that. Like, it's very fun to watch because you already experienced that, and you know that that's not, like, is just fear-mongering. But lately I have seen an individual who's so not well off in life. Like, he was both fat, short. Like, if I'm 5'8", he's literally 5'5", balding, unattractive face, like very bad bone structure, very narrow frame, and he looks like a little teddy bear. I have seen how he interacts with, I have been paying like really close attention. I'm seeing that he's socially excluded, and all of these feelings and emotions and memories from my childhood, from my when I was in high school, when I was in primary school, all of these feelings started popping back because I started to feel his shoes. Right now I'm well off because I know how to act. I gathered a lot of confidence through my job, through knowing people, through being better at kickboxing. Like, I have built up my confidence, and now I know how to act socially. I kind of broken out of that, let's say, neurodivergent phase of being socially excluded and be like this social outcast. But because I experienced that, I know how these people feel. I know how these people feel deep down in their own heart, in their own psyche. When you're this socially isolated guy, you're constantly trying to figure out what's the best possible interaction, what's the best possible like topics that you're gonna talk to other people. You're just overthinking what topics you want to talk because you fear that if you say something, one of your interests, you feel like you're gonna get bullied, you feel like you're gonna get socially excluded even more. And you don't really have time to develop your own character, your own identity, so you're constantly questioning yourself. And living this life of constantly questioning yourself, it's a terrible life to live. I'm so glad for myself, I'm so grateful that I have managed to break out of that, but I feel that mog guilt when I see other people who cannot break out of that. I saw this group of recruits. There were like 10 recruits, and there's like this one socially isolated guy out there. And when I was passing through this group of people, of course, in the military, you have to greet other people, like have this stance when you see other people who have a higher rank than you. And of course, everybody says like, attention, when you walk through them. And like, yeah, I greet them all, and I just start like social gesturing, like, "Oh, what's up, people? How is the recruitment training? Like, how long have you been here? Like, oh, a week and a half. Oh, I was a recruit 2 years ago, and I remember how it was. And like, it's nice. It's good training. You're gonna learn a lot of discipline. You're gonna be a good person. Like, you're gonna learn discipline. You're gonna be a proper military guy." And all of us just started talking, and I was like thinking from my like past experiences, like I was this socially isolated guy, and now I'm a social butterfly. I'm just talking to people. I'm going off topic. What I want to say is that I started talking to that kid more and more. I started bringing, let's say, started asking him like, "Oh, how is it going?" Like, and all that. And I could like see that all of those people, all those individuals, all those recruits were somewhat passive aggressive towards that guy. You see, in this military training, you have, we call it desetina, a squad. There's like 10 individuals in a squad, and the outcome and the performance of your squad is usually hindered by the worst guy out of that. And I already knew that guy, that short, bald, not well off guy, I know that he was holding the entire group back. If you ever watched that movie Full Metal Jacket, you probably saw that scene when everybody just have beaten that fat guy because he was holding the entire group, he was holding the entire squad back, and I could see that in that guy. I could see how he's not there. He's there physically, but he's not there mentally, because if you're genetically not well off, you're gonna go through so much bullying, you're gonna go through so much trials and tribulations in your own life, to the point that life will just be suffering. And I tried so hard to not look at life in that area, but every single time I have been shown examples and examples of both online and in real life of people who are not well off genetically, and they just experience so much suffering for absolutely no reason. Like, you can be an absolute soul, you can be an absolute good guy, a morally and ethically good guy. You want to help everybody. But if you do not have the looks department, if you do not have the genetic department for that, people will test you. I sometimes feel so sorry for these individuals. And seeing that guy, I just had to start recording. I just had to start recording and talk about this topic, because many people say that, oh, he just needs to do this, he just needs to do that, he just needs to improve his he just needs to go to the gym, he just needs to be a kind person. Friedrich Nietzsche said that Morals have aesthetic criteria. You see a butterfly, and a butterfly is a very beautiful creature. But when you see a cockroach, like that cockroach is disgusting. Everybody wants to kill the cockroach. Everybody wants to step on the cockroach. But everybody wants to have the butterfly on their finger like that and just observe the beauty of the butterfly. You see, butterfly and the cockroach are not that different. They're both bugs. They're both small creatures. You could say that cockroaches bring diseases, but there are studies, there are like examples that cockroaches aren't so disgusting. They're not such a big bringer of diseases, if you understand what I mean. You can see that in humanity also. I have seen so many examples, both in my classrooms, both in my high school era, in my adult era, of people who are not well off, and they just experience suffering and suffering. I started this channel talking about self-improvement, to improve this, improve that, improve that. But what about the individuals who, no matter what improvement they do in their own little pathetic lives, no matter what they do, sometimes this shit will not help them. You see, that's the reason why the black pill became so popular today. You see, you had this era of, let's say, blue pill self-improvement, oh, just be kind, just read books and all of that. And then you had the era of Andrew Tate and Hamza and all these self-improvement gurus and Fresh and Fit, who started boosting the red pill. Oh, you need to be a strong man, you need to go to the gym, you need to learn martial arts, you need to become an alpha, you need to become a sigma. And after people realized that also doesn't really work, they hopped onto clavicular, they hopped onto androgenic. They started consuming more and more of the black pill. No, first they started consuming looks maxing, and then the later stage comes the black pill. The black pill's main point is genetic determinism and lookism and just human nature and all of that. That is the true pinnacle of self-improvement, when you realize that some things in life you just cannot improve. It is just better to focus on other things. For example, I know that I do not have good bodybuilding genetics. Yeah, I still created a very good physique. Some people, when I take pictures, of course, you manipulate pictures. Of course, in pictures I look incredible, I look amazing. But in real life, I'm not that big, I do not look that good. That's the reason why I started doing martial arts, because I disregarded bodybuilding and improving my looks in this area, and I started to focus on the real things that actually bring me real confidence. But what about individuals who cannot even do that? Some people are just genetically not well off. Some people are just genetically born inferior. I'm sorry for saying it in that sort of fashion, but some people are just not well off. And I know I'm just going around and around the entire topic, and that's the entire point of this video. Oh, genetic determinism, oh, genetic inferiority. Can you start? You already mentioned genetic inferiority already 10 times in this video. Can you just move on? Sorry, brother, I just cannot. Because that is the only thing that I'm starting to see today. Yeah, I see the individual, I see the character, but that personality and that character is created by genetics. There's a reason why taller and attractive people are way more confident compared to shy and nerdy and uglier and shorter guys. It's because these more attractive people, they can create a good personality because the environment and that positive feedback loop taught them positive reinforcement, taught them that they can be confident in these certain areas. You see, people who are good looking, they're confident near women. There's a reason why ugly individuals are not confident near women. It's because they're ugly. Because women did not give them choosing signals. Women did not give these individuals positive reinforcement. Through their entire life, they have gotten a negative reinforcement. And I have tried so hard to see the positive light. I have tried so hard to not see the truth in its original form. Yeah, you can call me autistic, you can also call me blinded by the black pill, because with the rise of the popularity of the black pill, there are many people who are, let's say, they're kind of good genetically. Let's say he's good looking, he is slightly neurodivergent, but let's say he's kind of short. And now these individuals are blabbering all about the black pill. Oh, it's over, it's so over. Brother, I believe that for the more of 50% of new black pillars that come to this era of the internet and who want to adopt this ideology or worldview, more than 50% of these individuals can actually make it out, can actually break through it. It is just that they're slightly neurodivergent. if you are a true black pillar, you already know rehab room, you already know face LMS, you already know DBDR, you also know that savvy guy. Many few people will look at these individuals and you're just gonna agree with them. Oh my god, yes, the things that you say, they're so correct. Oh my god, you're describing my life so perfectly, brother. Oh my god, it's so over. For some of you individuals, it's not over. That's kind of the thing. I have to deliver a hope pill. I need to give you an actual reality check. For some few people, you can actually make it out, but it just takes so much effort and so much hard work to the point that you just need to ask yourself, is it even worth it? My father never really had to think about looks maxing, going to the gym, getting the top 1% of the man, becoming an alpha. My father never really had to think about all these things. My father was just going through his life, just enjoying his life, and whoop, out of nowhere, my mother spawned and they married and they created me. But now, for me to achieve that same thing, I have to work so fucking hard. To the point that I have to work on my physique, my mentality, my character, my identity, my money, my looks, my everything, to the point to just get a mid-normie girl. And yes, of course, you have to ask yourself, like, is it worth it? Is it worth that? Is it truly worth to put so much work and effort to achieve your own biological mission to the point that you're literally rising your cortisol, to the point that you're literally just stressing yourself to get mediocre results? You see, this mentality of it's over. Yeah, for some people, yes, I definitely agree, it definitely is over. But some of you are blinding yourself by doing that. Some of you black pillars are gray pillars. Do you understand what the true black pill is? It's understanding your position in the hierarchy and improving the things that you actually can improve, and disregarding the things that you cannot improve. In the black pill, there is a certain amount of stoicism. There's a certain amount of nihilism. There's a certain amount of Schopenhauer. There's a certain amount of Nietzsche. It's all about nuance. I'm not disproving anything. Yes, the black pill is reality, but some of you are so blinded by this certain rhetoric or this certain reality that isn't even reality. It's very hard to discuss these topics because my reality is not the same as your reality. That's the reason why I kind of started to hate self-improvement in general, just the entire concept of self-improvement. We are not the same build. We do not have the same environment. How you were raised, what you were fed, both mentally and physically and nutritionally, it's not the same what I have gotten through. Yes, I can go here and tell you that, ooh, go to the gym, ooh, do this and do that. But for some individuals that will not work. You have to find your own thing. You have to find your own thing. You cannot just go through entire life watching DVDR, watching a rehab room and just saying to yourself, oh, it's so over. You see, rehab room and DBDR and all of these black pillars, like true black pillars, all of them give good self-improvement advices and true authentic self-improvement advices. What Rehab Room tells you that you should looks max and that you should geo max and that you should do this. He tells you that going to the gym is a cope. Going to the gym is a cope. I can't agree with that because your gym progress is heavily determined by your own genetics, how fast you build muscle and how overall your musculature, your aesthetics will look from your frame, from your own skeletal structure. But he doesn't say that you should not do that. He says that it is a cope. Yes, it's definitely a cope. But for some reason, that's a good cope. For some individuals, that's a very good cope.